And then I have a -8 T-fitting, and then this is a -8 to NPT fitting. So basically I can run my Autometer transmission gauge off of the transmission cooler line and then not have to make any more cuts. So bought those. And then I was going to show you the rough setup of my temperature setup here. So this is going to be these are both AN8s. This is an AN8 to NPT 3/8, 3/8 NPT to 1/4 inch NPT, and then 1/4 inch is the sensor. So you need to go through and tighten everything up and install it on the truck. And then other things I've got going on here. So I got my Ford Racing catch can installed. It's a super tight squeeze here. So what I ended up doing was grinding off a whole bunch more on the fan shroud side, and then I elongated my mounting holes here to try to get the catch can to sit back in the hole as far as I could. Like I said, it's a tight squeeze in there. So the catch can is just touching the hose in a couple places, but it doesn't really look like there's a whole lot of pressure on it, really. And like I said, it's sitting there, but it doesn't really look like I'm going to rub a hole in the hose. I will keep an eye on that and make sure. And I actually got a little bit more I want to trim down here, it looks like. But anyways, catch can's installed. So I got my harness starting to run for my temp sensor here. Got the split loom for it, and it just runs along the factory head harness here, and then it tees into where the transmission temperature one goes down and to the front where the thermal unit is. Was a nice easy place to tap into the cooler lines and had plenty of room without sacrificing potential ground clearance or other issues there. And then I will run this harness back into here, where my other harnesses run. Before I do that, I need to finish running my AC harness and run my vacuum line, and then the engine bay will be basically done. So I can slide underneath real quick and I'll show you my thermal unit. And that junction there. So there's my T connector I showed you earlier. And then it just goes into the transmission thermal unit there. So, or actually that's on the cold side. But anyways, it's coming together. Well, the nice thing about this cover, I mean, other than the fact that it's obviously a Watts Link cover, but the nice thing about it is it has a drain plug. The bottom one is a magnetic drain plug, so we're going to pull out the drain plug and see what we get, and hopefully no major chunks, and we'll get it back together. So overall, not too bad. I mean, for break-in, it's not too bad. It's got some chunks, a little bit of metal there, but nothing crazy for a new break-in. So we're gonna let this drain out overnight. So this is the fun challenge of having a lowered truck, is not having any room to work. So somehow I need to get in here and pour fluid in the top side of this diff, and that's just not that easy. I could use a suction gun and push it in, but I usually just pull the ABS sensor out of the top and pour into it because it's just easier, cleaner. So that's with the funnel in the ABS hole, and leaves me basically no room above that to work. So what I'm going to do real quick is get the vehicle with the axle drooping. I currently have the axle on jack stands, so my plan is to lift it back up, let the axle hang down, see how much more room I have to quickly pour some fluid in there and be done with it. So we're gonna do that real quick. Well, I'm a lot more happy with that. So I have a little bit more space now. Should be enough. I can get a bottle in there and at least dump it into the funnel, and we'll get to pouring. So I've got 3 bottles of 80/90, and I have a bottle and a half of Motorcraft friction modifier. So we'll get that poured in and move on to doing the oil change. I got the rear end back together, and now I'm gonna drain the oil. So this is my Moroso oil pan and my Wix filter that's mounted to my custom bracket for my MMR oil filter relocation kit. So I'm gonna break the drain pan loose and we'll pull the filter off. Forgot that was magnetic. That's handy. So luckily the guy that designed this and installed this oil filter kit was nice enough to put the oil filter right next to where the drain plug is, so I don't have to move the drain pan. I can leave the drain pan in one spot. Alright, new filter's on. Just gotta wait for the oil finish draining, which should be here in just a minute. Alright. And last but not least, we'll put some oil on this thing. And if you've seen my other videos, you will have seen me use this before. This is a Matco special tool funnel. Threads into the valve cover there, just like the oil cap does, and then a funnel, special funnel, goes directly into that, so it's no spills, no drips. And just like I've done in my other oil change video for my 2018, I'm going to put 3 quarts in it first out of this first jug, and then I'll put 5 out of the second jug. That way, in case I go a little bit overboard on this one, I can always leave some out of the second one. But if I put in the first 5, and then go overboard on the second bottle, then I'm now overfilled. So there we have it, done with the fluids. Before I set the truck back down on the ground, I want to do 2 things. I want to start the truck and make sure I don't have any leaks for my new oil filter, and my drain plug, I also want to check my transmission T adapter that I put in there, make sure it's not leaking as well. So I want to probably run it for a few minutes to make sure I got good oil pressure from the transmission all the way up to the cooler, and make sure everything's happy before I put it all the way back together and start driving it.